Chris says a joke around
G.I.
Jane 2, looking forward to it. Very mild, just laughed. And even said, come on, that was nice. And then Will Smith initially laughs.
Yes.
But it looked like Jada was upset. And so Will changes his tune, walks on stage, and smacks Chris Rock in the face at the Oscars. And then says, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth.
Yes, he does.
And then he goes, come on, man, that was a G.I. Jane joke. And he screams it out like,
keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Yes.
And it's like his lips were quivering. And he, first of all, that whole scene doing that in that manner, in that place, is a great example of what's wrong with the glorification of just being able to go up to someone and smack them in the face. Because that is that whole thing was so weird.
I'm going to disagree with you here.
Please do. Well, what is your take on it?
I want to let you.
Before
I want you to finish though.
Well, no, you said you were going to disagree with me.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I don't actually think that there's any glorification of violence in the sense of free capability on Will's part.
What do you mean by that?
Well, for one, I don't think that there was any inherent given that you could just get away with it. I think that whatever Will did, he did it, and he was like, whatever comes with it, that I'll have to own up to it.
I don't think he was thinking that far ahead at all.
Maybe he wasn't, but
I
maybe
think
he's
he was
like
being
in this
emotionally
moment,
fragile,
probably,
and he acted on impulse.
Sure,
and I think it's a foolish impulse that you do when you know there's no consequences.
I
so
don't
you're
think.
hitting
But
a
here's
very
the thing:
small
I'm going to say
person.
that I don't know that he thinks that there's now in terms of hitting Chris in terms of them and their physical differences and capability of combat. Let's say. Yes.
There's no consequences.
But I'm saying, but there's no consequences in getting out of your seat and striking somebody on national television.
Yeah, but I don't think he was thinking about that. I think he was acting
Simply
impulsively.
in terms of man to man and who's capable and what's capable. And you know what? That may be the case in the microcosm of things. But if you hit anybody for any reason in public at this point, you have the very real fact of all of the powers of law that be, especially depending on who you are and what the public and the cathedral thinks of you, smashing you to death until you're penniless, bankrupt, and everyone hates
but that's
you.
Not gonna stop. That's not going to happen here.
Probably
it was
not.
never going to happen.
Probably
he just smacked him.
But
he didn't beat the shit out of him. He didn't harm him.
But,
he smacked him in the face
we
and
live in a
humiliated
society
him.
where violence is so.
But there's no way. There's no way Will Smith's going to become penniless from smacking Chris Rock.
Was never. You wouldn't think so. You wouldn't think so.
He's extremely wealthy. It's not going to happen. And not only that, Chris Rock instantly didn't press charges. He wouldn't press charges, and he just accepted it.
I would say it should have been handled in the back, or he could have at least. He could have stood up, said something right on the spot.
But listen, no.
And not done anything about it, or
Chris
said
Rock's
it in the
doing
back.
his fucking job. You don't go and sit in the front row. You're a star at the Oscars. There's a professional comedian whose job is to roast people. That's what he's doing. And what he did was not even insulting.
It's not a